I'm Colin Dalton, and this is Publican Enemy. And today, we're going to be looking at this. Hello and welcome again to episode, God knows how many of these episodes that we've made. But in today's episode, we're going to talk about Guinness. We're going to talk about what you might have seen at the beginning. And if you're familiar with what I was trying to do there, you know exactly what I'm going to talk about. We are going to talk about Murphy's Irish Stout. Guinness's little brother, a less successful little brother. Whereas Guinness is associated with Dublin, Murphy's is associated with Cork, way. They come from Cork. Cork, for those of you not familiar with it, is like the Irish version of Manchester or Texas. This city that everyone goes around thinking they're great with stupid accents, and there's nothing to back up why they have this sense of arrogance at all. The Cork accent, if you've ever heard it, it's a combination of incessant honking like a goose, and the rhythm has a kind of a sing-song melody like an ambulance with a siren on going off a cliff over there. And they say bye all the time. So that's Cork City. But Cork did give us something good. It did give us something useful. And that is, of course, Murphy's Irish Stout. Murphy's Irish Stout is a very, very nice drink. It looks like Guinness, but it tastes a bit more coffee. It's a bit smoother than Guinness. But as we saw in previous episodes, Guinness had the advantage when it came to the marketing of the drink, when it came to being miles ahead of all other drinks with their branding as well. Murphy's unfortunately didn't have this, and so it struggled to get out of Cork, which is a shame, because if anything should get out of Cork, it's Murphy's. Okay, it's the people who should remain there. All right. So I'll tell you what I mean by the advertising. So if we saw earlier some Guinness's great ads going back to 1950s or earlier, Murphy's didn't have that great record. Let's have a look. This is a Murphy's ad from the 1980s. I can give you a commentary on it because that should be, it's not that particularly complex. You don't need to hear that much. So this is an ad for Murphy's Irish Stout, Guinness's brother from Cork. Let's check it out. Okay, we've got a maid in a house. We've got a bust. Again, it's not screaming. Drink, she's arranging the flowers. She's a maid in a big house. It's not screaming, have a pint with the lads. They're dogs. And there's the floor. And now it's Champions League. This is an actual, the Alan Partridge, yes, this is an actual ad. Someone was paid to make this ad.
Murphy's Irish Stout. Tradition in the making.
Good Lord, that was Murphy's. No wonder it didn't make it out of Cork, if that's the standard of the advertising. But later on in the 90s, and at the beginning of the video, you may have seen me try and do that trick, and that's when Murphy's kind of hit a bit of a niche. In the 1990s, Murphy's hit on some brilliant cult ads that really stuck in the memory when they were bought by Heineken. So Heineken tried to promote it as their version of Guinness. So they said, we want to be down with the kids. We want to be like, we want to get into that youth drinking market. Who do the kids love? That's right, Akira Kurosawa, director of such legendary films as Seven Samurai and Yojimbo, okay? But they did make a really good ad, which we're going to watch now, okay? Those of you who remember this ad, everyone has a love for it. This is Murphy's, I don't know what it's called.
그거 봐봐요.
Absolute genius ad there from Murphy's. Absolutely brilliant. I was only 12 at the time, but I wanted to get a pint and drink it to do that. And then, of course, people went into the pub and they said, "What do you want?" And they just went, "Murphy's," because maybe they didn't want a Murphy's, but they were conditioned by advertising and they ended up drinking it. So that's a brilliant, brilliant ad. Really, really good. And yeah, even to this day, I try and pick up bottles like that. If you ever see anyone do that, they've obviously seen this ad. And they're from the 90s, or they may be from Cork, so stay away from them. Continuing on that, so that ad really, really hit the spot, and Murphy's got a bit of more international recognition. And then they took it further. They did the first ever anime ad on British or Irish television. Okay, and that one was from the director of a guy who did Ghost in the Shell and Akira, so great, great, legendary anime, legendary mangas, and they came up with this ad, which is arguably as good for my money. This one was called, I don't know what it's called, it's just an ad. Have a look. Oh, let's just have a look. Sheer class, sheer class of an ad. Absolutely brilliant. So Murphy's, with those lads from, I think it's from a London-based advertising agency, tried to come back in, but they couldn't escape the curse of being from Cork, which is already going to stop anything from really, really reaching true greatness or success, or any level of skill, intelligence, credibility, or anything like that, which is a shame. Because Murphy's is actually really nice. If you ever see a pint of it available, go for it and have a look. If you go for the bottle, if you see the bottles as well, give that a trick, give it a spin. I practice with a closed bottle. They're supposed to be open technically, but what can you do? So that finishes today's episode, okay, on Murphy's Irish Stouts. Konnichiwa, mofos. Konnichiwa's hello.